Greetings, this is Tim Johnson. This is Recovery, Strength, Hope and Courage, and the second of my videos entitled Recovery Recipe. And today's one is about finding connection, a subject which I feel is extremely important, certainly has been in my recovery. For many years that I was an addict, or I was dependent, if you like, if you want to call it that, on alcohol and opiates. I used to ask myself on a daily basis, why are you doing this to yourself? You've got a fantastic life. You've got a great job. You've got a beautiful wife, and you've got two gorgeous girls. Everything's going good for you. You've got everything you want, a house, car, all the material things in the world. But you're still doing this to yourself. Why? And now I've had a chance to look back, and over the many times I've talked to addicts, both the 2 times I've been in rehab and through many other situations and groups, there's a pattern that runs through, I think, most of us, and certainly did through me, which is a feeling of emptiness inside for all those years, a void, if you like, that needed filling all the time. Seeking something that was just missing from your life. You couldn't put your finger on it, but you weren't experiencing. You thought there was more to it, and you're always seeking something that you couldn't find. And sometimes the drugs and alcohol filled that gap initially, and gave you that feeling as though you'd found connection, if you like, and or it certainly did the first few times until you became dependent and you could never achieve that first feeling that you found, basically, and so you were constantly trying to find that and achieve that again until you were totally dependent on whatever substance it was. And if you look at society today, society's program, we're constantly bombarded by external stimulus, and if you like, consumerism is an addiction. And if you look at the way we're bombarded on a daily basis about the way we should look, the way we should dress, that money is good, to have money will make you feel better, that certain things you eat will make you feel better, alcohol will give you more confidence, fame is good, greed is good. You'll find all these things out in the consumer world, everything you need to make you feel good and fill that gap is pushed down your throat on a daily basis. But these are all material things, and material things, as I've found in my life, can never ever fill that void or make you feel conscious or good, or status and power is drummed into us. That doesn't make us feel good. It's all just another addiction. And because we these days seek instant gratification, if you like, because we're not patient anymore. Everything's instant, isn't it? We stare at our phones to achieve instant gratification, to achieve approval, if you like. That's another bit of gratification. We're bombarded with Facebook, with Instagram, with Twitter, with Tinder, with all these things that give us instant approval and this instant gratification, this buzz to try and fill this void. We're even told, if we buy a certain phone, we have to have it. We've got to have it to make us feel normal, to be a normal part of society's program. Well, it doesn't work, and I'm sure that you realise that. You're intelligent people out there, but it's taken me many, many years to realise that and to understand that this void inside of me can't be filled with, and you can understand these people who, because drugs and alcohol aren't the only way to fill this void. People try and fill it and gain this instant gratification because everything's instant, isn't it? Like I say, you click a phone to get a friend, you click a phone to get something delivered to your house, food, clothes, whatever you want. You don't have to move from a seat. You can literally sit there and click it, and if it's not there in a few hours, you start to become a patient. It's just this is not connectedness. This is why this feeling is going to be inside of you until you find something that will complete you and fill it. So basically, it's no use in seeking internal comfort by external means to fill that void, because it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So the alternative is to find, and the way I've found it is to find connectedness to something that's greater than yourself, basically. Now, this is a contentious issue, isn't it? Because we come onto the subject of, you know, religion and all sorts of things here. But I'm not necessarily talking about that at all. I'm talking about connectedness. Now, however you find that connectedness is down to you as an individual. You know, there's no judgment by me or anyone else, or shouldn't be by anyone else at all. However you find that is good, as long as you find it, basically. So that you can find that via religion, you know, whatever your religion is, you know, whatever it is, or you can find it through other means. You know, you can find it as long as it's something that's greater than yourself, something that you're part of, then it doesn't really matter. And the way I found it, I'll just talk about the way I found it today, is via something called the Tao Te Ching, which is spelled T-A-O, separate word D-E, and then Jing, J-I-N-G. And that's it's not a religion, it's a philosophy of life, basically, and it's based on nature and nature's patterns and the greatness of nature. And I think connectedness is all about oneness and recognizing that we're not all individuals, you know, that we're not all selfish and in our own little worlds, clicking phones and going in and being sucked into this consumerist society, this program. What we have to do to build this connectedness is build our own program. And the way to do that is initially, once you recognize what that connection is, what you want, then, you know, by prayer and meditation and is one way of doing it. If it's religion you're talking about, then obviously prayer is important. If it's the universe and it's the Tao Te Ching and nature and all the rest of it, then meditation becomes important. And I meditate for at least 10 to 15 minutes a day. It doesn't have to take up your whole day, but I do something called the Wim Hof method as well, which is another half hour of internal meditation, really, I suppose. But anyone can find time in their day to do that, and this will bring you closer to that connectedness and realizing that you know, you're not alone in this universe. You're not this selfish little bubble that just collects material things, that we're all one. Another way of doing that is like the video I made yesterday, by showing gratitude and by giving back to other people and just being kind and loving on a daily basis and putting out positivity and optimism on a daily basis. See, all this is really hard to do in early recovery, and I understand that. And if you're if you're still in addiction now, or if you're in withdrawal, or you're in early recovery, then I understand what I'm saying now may seem miles and miles away, but you need to start thinking about it now, and in some cases start doing it a little now, because it is the only way to bring you inner happiness, peace, contentment, serenity, whatever you want to call it, to fill that void. Because for me, it has worked. And I thought, this is, you know, I'm 57 years old now, and 35 years, probably more than that if you're talking about alcohol, certainly 35 years of drug addiction. And the alcohol's always been there since I was before that, so probably 40 years of alcohol addiction. If you look back to my early drinking, you know, even as he's 16, 17 years old. You know, I've been searching for this thing all my life, and I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to give it, it's not woo-woo or spiritual, or, yeah, sorry, but it is spiritual, but I'm not trying to press anything on you. I'm just trying to let you understand not to leave this too late, because connection, especially in today's society, compassion, humility, all these things are missing from today's society, because it's all about selfishness, money, greed, things, material things. You know, if you can start putting a bit of that back into the universe and start meditating towards that and understanding what nature does, that we've come from nature, we've come from the universe, and we go back to the universe. It's simple as that. There's no doubt about it. We are part of it. All life is part of the universe. We're just atoms and molecules. And that's the understanding I've come to, and meditating on that, I've found this connectedness with something greater than myself, something I don't understand, something that's powerful but something that brings me true inner peace and inner happiness. And I recommend it to anyone, and it will build strength into your recovery. There's no doubt about it. It's integral to your recovery. You've got to find it, because this connectedness is missing in all addicts. There's no doubt about it. Some people medicate because of that. Some people medicate because of pain, emotional pain, physical pain, whatever. But most people medicate because of whatever the medication is: food, sex, drugs, gambling, alcohol, buying, consumerism, whatever that addiction is. It's because you're trying to create an inner happiness by external means, and it doesn't work. You've got to find it inside yourself. Everyone has that happiness inside themselves. Everyone, without doubt. 100% of humanity has it. It's just a case of finding it. There's no doubt about that. Whatever you believe in, there's no barriers between people. We're all one. Oneness is what's important. I'll just read a couple of things to you here. True joy results when we become aware of our connections to everything. There's no doubt about that. And as Einstein changes, the human being, the great thing about the human being is his ability to change. Einstein once said that the test of true intelligence is the human's ability to change. Change isn't easy. It's not, whatever anyone tells you, it's not. This is not an easy ride. This getting to whatever sort of level of sobriety, whether it's the first day you give up to a year to 5 years, it's a constant work in progress. It's a constant, I won't say battle, because it's a joy. It's a joy to come alive, and it's a joy to feel feelings again, and emotions, and connectedness, and to give back, and to look in a human being's face, and for them to smile at you and to say thank you, and to help other people is so fulfilling. It's just mind blowing. There's many people in the world that are suffering. We can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone is the motto. And going towards that is extremely important. And don't forget, you can't fill this void with external stimulations, and today's culture is all about external stimulations. You have to find this connectedness however you find it. God, Allah, Buddha, the Tao Te Ching, the universe, creation, whatever you want to go towards, that's your choice, and that's great. Whatever your choice is, it's an individual choice, but it's an important choice. And I'm going to finish this now by just reading you something that Albert Einstein once said, and I find it quite moving and quite important, really. A human being, and by the way, let me apologise, because he puts this in the masculine, so it's his or her or himself or herself. Obviously it's for everyone this, but he's just put it in the masculine, so I'll read it that way. A human being is a part of the whole, called by us universe. A part limited in time or space. He experiences himself, his thoughts, feeling as something separated from the rest. A kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. The delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our own personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living things and the whole of nature in its beauty. That's quite a profound saying, that by Albert Einstein. And John Lennon, don't forget, once said, "You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us and the world will live as one." From that great song, Imagine. And he imagined it. It can happen. If more of us gain consciousness and connection and work towards it, obviously the more people the more humanity will work towards that. That sounds a great thing. This is just about us at the moment. But anyway, that's enough from me. Don't forget, it's really important to seize the day. Today is the day you can change your life. Everybody can change, has the ability to change. It's hard to change, you know, and it seems impossible until it's done. But when it's done, it's a great feeling, and you work towards it every single day. Don't forget, make good choices. Seize the day. If you're struggling, just hold on. It will get better. There's no doubt about it. Every second you hold on, it gets better. Much love to you all. I'll speak to you next time for video 3. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.